Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Pamela Heward, a certified career transition coach running her own practice since 2013, specializing in career coaching, resume writing, LinkedIn optimization, and personal branding. She previously served as Director of Client Services at Paul Mitchell Talent Management, delivering personalized career support to executives and teams during transitions like facility closures. Her approach empowers entrepreneurs, job seekers, and freelancers across backgrounds to break free from career ruts and build financially abundant lives. With that being said, Pam, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. This is going to be a great conversation, lots of things to cover. So we're just going to dive right into all of this. And by this point, you already know, I love to start with a bit of traveling back in time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And for you, before launching this current company of yours, what was that journey like before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for even getting into this industry?
A wonderful question. And as I was thinking about it, I didn't even know where to begin. But I think the easiest place is my professional life has been in the staffing industry in the greater Los Angeles area. I worked for a staffing company and then left that company to start my own staffing business with a partner. And we had 3 offices in the greater LA area, about 35 employees, and every year about 2,500 people out on assignment. So I have extensive experience when it comes to interviewing companies and people and jobs in that career, and then moved to Los Angeles, moved to Arizona from Los Angeles, where I actually took the time to see the children that I had, because I didn't see them very much when I was doing that, and did real estate part-time, believe it or not, while I was raising my kids. So believe it helped my coaching, because I became much better at negotiating contracts, which, by the way, is very important in the coaching and staffing industry to be able to do that. And in 2010, unfortunately, my husband passed away way too young. And I was faced with, all right, here you are, you're on your own. What are you going to do? And did a deep dive into what's important to me. And I realized, coming from employment and staffing, the part that was my passion was coaching people, helping them in their career and helping them transition or enhance whatever they were doing now. And I got my coaching certification in 2013, as you mentioned. And I've been living that passion and taking care of my family since then.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff that you've done over the years, that's for
Sorry,
sure.
maybe too much.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I mean, I always say when it comes to, well, life as well, but also business, that journey is not going to be linear. It's anything but linear, right? So like you just have to, keep on your toes and just be adjustable all the time. And I think you're a great example of that, like going from staffing to real estate, doing coaching, doing this or that. So I love it. And I'm pretty sure even within this industry over the last decade, it must have changed, right? So like what we're going to do now is really build some clarity for the listeners in terms of what that business looks like today. So with that in mind, who do you currently describe as that avatar, that ICP, that absolute ideal client that you really want to serve? And also, what is currently that core offering or signature offer that you created for those people?
Um, I contemplate that all the time, by the way. I can tell you that years ago, somebody said, you need a fax machine. And I'm like, fax machine? Why? What do you mean? Why would you ever need that? So there, what I learned is that the tools change in our business world, from things like we used to use fax machines and email, and now we have AI and lots of technology. But the things that don't change and that I help myself and my clients remember is that last I checked, most companies are human beings hiring human beings. And we can't forget that no matter what the latest and greatest tool is. So I would say to you that my my sweet spot and what I do is help utilize the great tools that are available while never forgetting the core idea that humans are still involved right now. And we have to appeal not only to the skill set, but the people and the culture. And why would they want to hire you to be a part of their team? They need to know you. So that's what I would call your personal brand. And that's my focus.
Yeah, Pam, I think when it comes to your industry, there's a lot of other professionals who are coming from a little bit of a different angle. They solely focus on working directly with the companies and with their people on the inside. Some, on the other hand, are on the other side of the spectrum and just really working with the with customers directly. So I'm curious, obviously there is a lot of different ways how you could go about this and building the business in the future, but where does the passion really lies? Is it helping those individuals and just working with the B2C sector, or are you going to try and get into more of the B2B stuff as well?
And I'm going to answer it this way, and I'm going to hope that I've answered your question. So, my first priority is the B2C. I mean, my clients are people in career transition, but the B2B part of what I am also growing at the moment is the professional development, working with companies who send their clients to me, who send their employees to me, who are not looking to leave, but they want to enhance what they're doing for the company. So it's the company who is footing the bill for their employees to work with professional development and leadership development, which I do with their employees. So
Absolutely.
is that enough B2B? I mean, it's still working with individual people, but I think companies are finally putting their money where their mouth is and investing money in the people that they have brought on board to enhance them and support them and improve them so that they're not dealing with a lot of turnover, because any company will tell you one of their biggest expensive issues is turnover.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, it's still going to be sort of B2C because you end up working with those people directly. But the
Right.
reason why I'm asking that question is because it's going to make a hell of a difference in terms of how you have to approach it business wise, right? It's going to be different if you want to primarily target those companies, and it's different for the B2C sector. So that's why I'm asking which side of the business or which arm of the business would you like to scale and see growing the most?
Um, I that's a good question. The relationships I've been able to have with companies are because of my B2C
Hmm.
experience over time. So I would say the primary focus of my attention is my working directly with the client, because that keeps that funnel going. At the same time, those are the people who also refer me to their companies, who I then get to do the next step. So I would say B2C would be my first focus.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely answered me. I
Okay.
do apologize for grilling you on this, but I really wanted to pick your brain because it's very different. Like we can
Right.
possibly dive into this later on, but I always say that we need this kind of clarity, right? Like who is that ideal person that I want to get into engagement with? Because there is a lot of different things that you need to have in place to do it successfully, right? Positioning, messaging, it's going to be different sales cycles. So again, if we look at it from the business perspective, it's something else. But when it comes to your B2C clients, if there is somebody listening right now who is curious about your company, but maybe not really that familiar with the process, can you just give us a quick overview of what if I was your next client? What is the next couple of months going to look like for me? What to expect?
So the biggest issue my clients face, and they've said this to me over and over again, is they come to me and say, I feel stuck. I'm trying to find a new role and nothing's happening. Nothing is going on. I don't know what else to do. I'm stuck here in this transition, or I'm stuck at this company. I hate it. I don't want to be here anymore. I need to get unstuck. So I would say that I learned over time that never would have been the language I would have used personally. But I will say to you, if you're coming to me, we're going to start there. It's like, where are you today? And where do you want to be next? And let's paint that picture first, because everything we will do, every tool we will use will depend on that future position that you want to get to get you unstuck from where you are now to something new and exciting where you're going to grow and improve.
Absolutely. Pam, what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna switch it up quite a bit, but I need to go to the back end side of the business as well because as I started talking about the messaging and positioning, obviously there is a lot that you have to do on that front to be in a good position where you can onboard more and more of those people and change their lives, literally. So when it comes to your ability to do so, what do you currently do with your own marketing strategy, your own lead generation efforts to make all of this even possible? What's happening there?
I the let me just say this little caveat. You can cut it out later. I have been doing this a while, and what I do well and what I'm comfortable with is networking. So when I launched my professional development program, I reached out to all of my executive level clients and said, I want to do this right. And I sent them a survey about their success as a leader. And I developed the program based on the survey and feedback I got from them, which then I could create the package on my website. And that I shared through my marketing person that really touched on those elements that I found my successful leaders were doing. So I would say that where I am right now is this my strength in having fantastic relationships with great people, being there for them when they need me so that I can then reach out and say, hey, I'm doing this. I need you to answer this question and give me 20 minutes so I can develop this program so that I learn how to speak the language of what I want to do next.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know if
curious when
that,
it comes to yeah. When it comes to networking, though, typically what we end up talking about is there is it's obvious that you can leverage the network that you created over the years because it's been a long time for you in the industry. So there is a lot of
yeah.
great context that you can use. But at the same time, there is a lot of frustration when it comes to the inconsistency of using those kind of sources, whether we talk about networking, word of mouth, referrals. Yes, it's a great lead, but it's inconsistent, right? So when it comes to this, I'm curious, have you guys tried leveraging more on the side of social media, whether that's about creating content, whether that's about running ads to create more volume, more exposure, and have more predictability in terms of when and where is the next client coming from, or what is your relationship with that?
The two places that I would say I would leverage social media, and I know that LinkedIn does not like us to refer to it as social media, by the way, but LinkedIn and the Facebook page where messaging, to people I know. The other element that has been very successful for me is I also volunteer my time as a career coach. For example, here locally in Phoenix, an organization called Career Connectors. They're a nonprofit that helps people in career transition. And I volunteer once a month at an event where I offer a free discovery session. Anyone can come and talk to me. And that's a great funnel of new clients for me, but also my ability to refine my language and to make sure I understand always what the latest challenges, issues, and frustrations they are experiencing right now so that I can pivot what I'm doing or learn what I need to learn to better support them. I also volunteer my time for an organization called Serving First Responders, and I help police officers, firefighters who are transitioning out of the first responder into business roles. So for me, the success of giving my time in these organizations and learning about their challenges always keeps me on top of refining what I do so that when I do message on LinkedIn or Facebook, I'm as relevant as I know how to be with what's happening.
I mean, it turns out this is a pretty robust operation. There's a lot of moving parts, so good for you. Pam, what I want to dive into now is just like have a better idea of what's to come, right? When it comes to the vision that you created for yourself and for the business, if we look at it from the perspective of maybe next couple of months, maybe till the end of this year, what would you say are those biggest targets, the biggest goals, the revenue that you want to generate, the milestones that you have set for yourself? What does it look like for you?
Um, a little bit more of the same. I would say the biggest new challenge, if I were to talk about finishing off this year on a high note as best as I can be, is to incorporate how I myself utilize AI to enhance things like messaging on digital showcasing wherever you do it, resumes, and using it as a tool so that when I'm working with clients, I'm helping them to do the same thing while still maintaining what I consider to be very important, which is the human element in all of this. That's something that's important to me. So the better I'm able to understand how to use this latest and greatest tool of AI, will enhance my B2C customers. And the more I am better for them, the more that will work. And also a B2B part of professional development within companies, because that's my referral funnel, if I
Mhm.
can say it that way.
Yeah. So you're saying that the biggest the biggest bottleneck that you're seeing right now is going to be this AI part of it and how to really make it and implement it into your processes right now.
And if I can just add to that, the biggest mistake people make with AI, if you generate your resume, if you generate a resume through AI and you send it to me, I will know it's AI generated in a heartbeat. It's a great tool, but you can't take yourself out of the equation. And I talk to recruiters all the time. I forgot to say this. My other job is reaching out to recruiters and finding out what's important to them. Because to be honest, who cares what I think? What matters is how is that recruiter going to say yes to you when you apply and get you to speak to a human being at the company? So they don't like AI generation, that looks like a lot of language, but it loses the human element of it. So making sure that we use it as a tool, but don't replace ourselves in the process.
Yeah, this is very interesting that you mentioned it because I was literally having a conversation earlier this week. And what I said is that I feel like the relationship we generally have with AI is already changing, even though it's still a very new thing. But with the evolution and all of those changes that we've seen pretty much on a daily basis, I think there's a lot of people who are realizing like, hey, this is not going to replace me. Like I either make it a part of like my processes and it just makes me more profitable, more efficient, or it can create more chaos than good. So,
It is,
so
and see, again, that's when I go back to my original premise. Yes, I've been around a while, so, but I embrace new technology and new things. That helps me to be good and sharp at what I do. But it is, again, it's a great tool that we learn how to use. People tell me all the time, oh, I won't be on LinkedIn because, I don't want to be on social media. And I say, well, then you probably won't get a job. I mean, if you don't embrace some of the technology necessary to get yourself out there, it's not going to work. So helping my clients and myself maintain a healthy balance of technology, understanding your core values, understanding truly what you want, all of those things that a coach does. I don't have a fear that I'll be replaced, but to be honest, I could be replaced if I didn't embrace the technology that brings me to where I am today.
agreed. Yeah, just stay adaptable, people. Stay
Yeah,
adaptable.
yeah. And
Well,
embrace what's new. And if it doesn't work, then, don't use it, but be open to what's next.
yeah. Pam, if we have anybody who's listening to us right now and they hear this great conversation that we're having right now and they want to get in touch with you, how should they go about it?
The best approach is to find me on LinkedIn, and it's just Pamela Heward, and my website is pamelaheward.com. So if you see my name right there, just put a .com after it and come to me. And I always offer a free discovery session, because I have also learned that if I am not the right coach for what you want to accomplish, I am I'm a networker. I will find you the right person if I'm not that person, because in the end, the more people I help get what they want, the better I'm going to be at getting at what I want.
Mhm. PamelaHeward.com. It doesn't really get easier than that. So
Yeah,
everybody
I hope that's easy enough.
Pam, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io. Get in touch with our team and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.